Come, let's sing of Jesus, of Jesus, of Jesus. Let's sing an everyday children's way.
Hey there, friends! It's Friday, which means it's the last day before the weekend, which actually that might happen at 2:15 or 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, or you might be in a different time zone and it's a little different. Either way, it's the last day of the week. And it's almost Saturday and Sunday. I love Sundays. Do you love Sundays? I hope so. Now, all this week we've been talking about the plagues, and we've been looking at different parts of the plagues and which side of the plagues we'd want to be on. Do we want to be on the plagues of destruction given by God, or do we want to be in the place of deliverance where God helps us in our life? Did you know that the plagues made such a visual, such an impact, we would say? It really shook people up everywhere across the world where the Israelites went. When you read after Exodus 12, 13, and 14, and even 15, where we see them after they've crossed the Red Sea, when you look at the children of Israel going everywhere they go, and even at the beginning of the book of Joshua, we meet people who have heard how this is the same people that the God of Israel delivered using mighty signs and wonders in the land of Egypt. And it's so memorable, people remembered it so much, that even in the New Testament, people talked about it. And when I think about it, if we think about how powerful God is, He's got the power in everything that He does. And it was such a difference in some people's lives that when they met someone who claimed to be an Israelite, they would always say, "You're the one whose God did mighty and powerful things in the land of Egypt." And the person we want to talk about today is someone who had that very same point, and that is Rahab. Rahab, we find in the book of Joshua, heard about all the things that God had done. Especially everybody in Jericho where she was had heard about what God had done to the Egyptians. And when she found the two spies that had come into Jericho, she was a little afraid, but she also wanted to be helped by God. And when we come back from singing with Paul, we'll talk about why that's so important to her and to us today. But before we talk about that, let's go sing a song with our friend Paul, and I'll see you in a few seconds. Let's go sing.
Sing Christian songs with Paul.
Thanks, E.T. Hey, kids, would you like to sing another Christian song? How about Light the Fire? I stand to praise you, but I fall to my knees. My spirit is willing, but my flesh is so weak. Light the fire in my soul. Fan the flame, make me whole. Lord, you know where I've been. So light the fire in my heart again. Great job, kids. We'll see you next time.
Hey there, friends! You did a beautiful, wonderful, fantastic job. A+, singing with our friend Paul. Paul, thank you, friend, as always. And friends, thank you for singing along with Paul and singing your heart to God. God is very happy and very pleased with the way that you're singing to Him now. Keep it going. Now, friends, when we left, we were talking about Rahab talking to the spies in the book of Joshua. Now, this is way after the plagues had taken place, and you would think that maybe after, because they had already gone through the wilderness, so that's at least 40 years that's passed by, after they've gone through the wilderness, Rahab says, "You know, we've heard about these stories, and I know it's true. I want you to help me so that I can be delivered from the same God who showed His power in the land of Egypt." Friends, I think that's a very, very powerful lesson for us today. You know, we can look all throughout the Bible and we can read the accounts of Genesis with the creation story, how God helped Abraham. You see the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah and extreme wickedness, maybe even Lot's wife. You can look at the way that the 12 tribes began from the sons of Jacob, and even when Israel went into Egypt and when God led them out of Egypt. You can look at the kings and all the different things through King Saul, King David, King Solomon, all the way through the life of Jesus, through the New Testament. And all of those things show us that if God's people are in any kind of trouble, God has the power to help them through their problems. Now, God will deliver us. We've talked about that. But friends, in terms of eternity, things that last forever, God has always had the power, will always have the power, and currently does have the power to help change your life forever. All that you need to do is do the same thing that Rahab did. You've heard about what God has done in the past, but do you have faith to trust in God that God will use His power to change your life for the best? He did with Rahab and her family. They did exactly what God had asked her to do. And because of that, her life was spared. And friends, the same thing can happen to you for all eternity. When you trust in God with all your heart, look not on the things of your own mind, but seeking what's right with God, God will be very, very happy with you, and He will even help guide you so that you can make it to heaven on the other side of this life. Now, friends, that's all the time that we have today. I hope that looking at the plagues and different views of the plagues this week has really helped you. Not that God's going to give you a plague on your life, but that God promises you to protect you, to deliver you, to give you a hope for a better and more promised life in the life to come. Now, friends, that's a God I want to serve. Let's go work on our final memory work. And Lord willing, I'll see you next week. Let's go. Hey there, friends. It's Friday, which means it's memory work time. Now, our memory work this week has come from Psalm chapter 34, verse 4. That's Psalm 34, verse 4. Now, since it's Friday, we'll say the verse once together, and then I want you to say the verse to me without looking at anyone or anything except for me, or you can close your eyes and say it very quietly. Either way, let's start out by saying it together. Are you ready? Let's go. I sought the Lord, and He heard me, and delivered me from all my fears. Now, how about you say the verse to me? Are you ready? On your mark, get set, go. That was fantastic! You did it so much better than me. I can't tell you how many times I've had troubles with this verse. But friends, you did a great job. Now take this memory verse and share it with all your friends and share with them how God's power and might and even His protection over you has carried you through, showing His love, His mercy, and His grace. And friends, we learned all of this from the plagues that we looked at this week. Thank you so much for being with me this week, and I'll see you after you have a safe and fun weekend. I'll see you next Monday. So until next time, see you later, friends.
Come, let's sing Jesus, of Jesus, of Jesus, of Jesus. Let's sing an everyday children's way.